Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week on the seminar series. We'll just give another 5 minutes to have more participants join us, after which we'll begin in earnest. Thank you.
Hmm? No, my PC doesn't.
All right. Welcome everyone again to today's seminar session. We're continuing on our series about a roadmap to scholarship and graduate studies. And with us today is Miss Francisca Akhigbe, um, all the way also from the USA. Before I push things over to her, I would like to do some housekeeping. uh, I mean, I spoke to you guys last week, about, reaching out to more people to turn up. And I want to encourage you, to also do the same. I know I shared the videos at the end of at the end of the meeting, but I mean, being here will do you even more good. Why? Because you get to interact and then you get to also ask questions live. All right. When you're watching the videos, you might have some questions and you may not be able to get answered at that point. All right. But if you are able to join in live, you're able to ask questions, and you get real-time answers, as you're supposed to. All right. So without any much ado, I want to go ahead to introduce our facilitator for today. Miss Francisca Akhigbe is a veterinary doctor and third year PhD student of pharmacology, biology, and neurobiology from the College of Medicine at University of Cincinnati, Ohio, in the United States. She graduated with a doctor in veterinary medicine from the University of Abuja, Nigeria, and began a PhD program immediately. Research is focused on heart failures with a particular emphasis on heart failure with preserved ejection fraction. She is a fellow of the American Heart Association and Sigma which is a scientific research honor society. Um, it's a privilege to have her here today. We have her present with us today based on Dr. Oluwaseun Ajayi's help. One of the things I told you is, I'm expending social capital. All right, so I'm not the only one expending social capital. He is also doing that on your behalf, also as well. All right. So outside academia, she enjoys reading fiction, painting, and an ardent lover of K-drama. She currently volunteers as a social media handler of the Merea Education Foundation, which is a foundation saddled with the responsibility of sponsoring education for less privileged students. Remember, we learned last week there's a scholarship for everybody. All right. So maybe you want to reach out to her at the end, to see how a foundation, can help. All right. She believes every child has a right to education and shouldn't be denied such right. And with education, she has the hope that the world can become a better place. Please make welcome, if you can put on your reactions with a round of applause, Miss Francisca Akhigbe to join us. I also want to appreciate Dr. Oluwaseun Ajayi for joining us here today. Um, Please ensure your microphones are on mute so that we have a very seamless presentation and facilitation of the session today. Thank you so much. Over to you, Ms. Francisca, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay, good. I think it's evening there, right? So good evening, everyone.
Yes.
Thank
Good
you
evening.
very much for the introduction. I just have to share my screen. And also thank you to Dr. Oluwaseun for giving me this opportunity to, okay, I think this is already been seen, for giving me this opportunity to actually speak about building a strong application profile. So just adding a housekeeping, should I say rule for today? Please be free to ask a question when it comes up during the presentation. I am someone who enjoys being asked the question while presenting instead of waiting for the end of the presentation. So if you have a question, please be free to ask. Okay, I can begin right now. Before I start speaking today on building a strong application profile, I would like to bring up this case scenario and see how we think on this. So this is Kiki. She's a freshman in Kiambogo University, and she's a student of human nutrition and dietetics, and she has a dream of pursuing a PhD in clinical nutrition in the US. Something that is interesting about Kiki's dream is that she wants to pursue this immediately after graduation. She doesn't want to take a gap year to maybe work or have more experience or whatnot. She just wants to go straight to it. So this leads to the question, can Kiki get a fully funded scholarship in the US immediately after graduation? The options are A, yes, she can. B, no, she must work so as to build a strong application profile. And C, I don't know. You can just drop the answers in the chat box and we will get to it. And we will also get to discuss this answer at the end of today's presentation. So it doesn't really need to, I don't really need to wait for all the answers. The first thing for an application profile to be strong, it needs to fulfill every characteristics, every, should I say, criteria needed for this. And what makes an application profile strong? For us, or for you to be able to stand out in your application, because one thing I know about applying for either a PhD or a master's is that you get more than approximately like 25 to 100 applicants. So what exactly is going to make you stand out? What exactly is going to make the graduate education committee believe that, oh, this is the right person for this position? I am sure you have been able to touch some of these, like academic excellence, in which you need to have a great CGPA, you need to have a high GRE score, you need to have a high TOEFL or IELTS score if you take that. Also, you need great recommendation letters. And I am sure you have been told, or you will be told, how to get these recommendation letters, the right people to give you these recommendation letters, and also how to approach the people to give you that. And then there is a compelling statement of purpose in which you need to prove to these people that this is who I am, this is my story, this is what I think I want to achieve, this is what I know I will be able to do, and this is how I know I will be able to achieve that. Like you really need to prove to them that you are the right fit for that position or for that course you're applying for. And then there is research experience and also other enhancing factors. For you to be able to have a compelling statement of purpose, you need both research experience and other enhancing factors, because these are the two aspects that will help you craft a very compelling story. While I was applying or while I was preparing to apply for graduate school, one thing my mentor then told me was that I needed to write a story. That I shouldn't just look at statement of purpose as an essay, but it should be a story about myself, because all they are looking at is my CV. They don't know me. The graduate education committee don't know me. They have never met me, but it is my statement of purpose that is going to tell them who exactly I am, what I have done, what I want to do. And this is what we'll be focusing on today: research experience and other enhancing factors. Apart from, because I am sure most people, like, should I say, 80 to 90% or 100% of applicants, they already have this good academic excellence, academic background and whatnot. They have good recommendation letters. They also have awesome statement of purpose. But then the other two aspects, most according to Harvard, I think in 2022 or something like that, that where most applicants lack is other enhancing factors like their volunteering experience, like their community service. These are other things that I am sure would boost your application. So first of all, we're going to look at research experience. I would like to know how many of you have been able to undertake any kind of research, even if it is the most tiny research ever. If you have undertaken a research before, you can just type 1 in the chat box. And if you have not, please, you can type 2. Yeah. Okay, this is one thing I am waiting for. Okay, I have someone that have not undertaken a research. So, well, this is something I have concluded, or should I say, I have done a little research on. Oh, there is someone who has taken it or has undertaken a research. That's nice. For African undergraduate students, we have less opportunity to undertake research or to have research experience or at like should I say aside from our undergraduate thesis. And this is something that is a far cry from our other counterparts in the Western world. Currently, I mentor undergrads in my lab, and these are undergrads that are really carrying out interesting research work. And when I first came to the US, I had to learn the most, should I say, the most basic research skills. And I worked with undergrads and I see them having the best research skills. And I am like, wow, well, this is something we are falling behind in Africa. And this is something that is really making us less competitive. But however, I feel Africa, we are growing and I am sure we'll be able to move forward in the future. So how do you gain research experience as an undergraduate student? The first is to contact a professor whose research aligns with your research interest. And before you'll be able to contact a professor in your university, you need to grow a relationship with that professor. Let's just look at this now. You are a professor. Maybe you're carrying research on diabetes and you lecture on, should I say, cardiovascular diseases in the university, and you have like up to 100 students. And then one day a student just walks up to you and say, "Hello, Professor This. I would like to be a research assistant for you. I love that you research on diabetes and this and that." But you don't know that student. You have never met that student. You have never spoken with that student. Honestly, think about this in your heart. Will you be able to like just accept that that student be a research assistant? If I were to be that person or that professor, I would definitely say no. So this is where building a relationship with our professors, with your lecturers comes into play. I know that some of us will like to stay in the crowd. We don't like to move out. We don't like to be noticed. But as people with career goals, as people who want to be either in the academia, in the industry or whatnot, we really need to stand out. And how do you stand out? How do you get noticed by your professors? It's something very simple, something that I have tried and I have tested. Number one, answer questions in class. We as humans, we like to give correct answers. So if we are not sure of our answers, we will not answer, but it doesn't matter. When you answer question in class, whether you are getting the questions right or not, but you are able to, should I say, create this little relationship with your professor. And apart from answering questions, asking questions also help because it helps you to be noticed. It helps you to stand out among your peers. Because if you're having 100 classmates and you think your results will speak for you, I am sorry to burst your bubble, but I'll tell you that your results might not speak for you in this aspect. If you were to be in elementary school or high school and you are the best student, well, I am sure your teacher would look for you because you like this is like a high school, maybe for a class in a high school. I think the largest it can be might be 30 or 40 or 50 to the best of my knowledge. But you are in a college, in a university settings, and you will have classmates that are over 100, that are over should I say 200. This is where asking questions comes in play. You ask questions and also you volunteer for every class activities. If you are able to do this, then this professor, it doesn't really mean that the professor would be able to notice you from day one, but this is something that consistency plays a role in. You do it today, you do it tomorrow, you do it in 2 days' time, in 2 weeks' time, in 3 weeks' time. Your professor gets to notice you, and not only notice you, but the professor gets an idea on where your interest lies. And if you're able to build or craft this relationship, this is a stepping stone for you to be able to contact that professor and meet that professor and tell that professor that, hello, professor, this or that. I really love this research you are carrying on. I really love this research you're working on, and I would love to work with you on this research. But then this should not limit you to reaching out to professors, because I am just looking at having a relationship with a professor before asking them to be their research assistant from one side of the coin. There is an other side of the coin in which, whether you have not met this person or not, as long as you are able to craft a cold email. I don't know if most of you know what a cold email means, but a cold email is just an introductory email that you send to someone whom you have never met. So if you are able to craft a cold email that speaks about who you are, your course, the course of study, and your research interest, and you send it to that professor, there are some professors that, while reading these cold emails, they will become interested in with you or interested in you, and they will reach out to you. So the first step in gaining a research experience is to reach out to a professor. Then the second is to apply for undergraduate research programs in university. I don't know for Uganda universities, but one thing I know for Nigerian universities is that there are research programs that a student can undertake. A student have to apply for these research programs. There are research grants as undergrads that you apply for. This will be able to help you boost your research experience. If you don't know if your university is having that, it will do you good if you go to maybe your university administrative building and get to ask someone, or you might even ask a professor in your department or in your faculty. This is one of the easiest ways to gain research experience. Then the third way is to apply for summer undergraduate research programs outside your university. Right now, the world is a global village, so you are able to get, should I say, you are able to get information on opportunities outside your locality, outside your nation, outside your country, and even outside Africa itself. I have few summer programs that I would like to introduce to you. However, this is mainly for students in science. I am sorry, I am science inclined, so I know little about the arts. But even if these summer programs are not connected to your field of study, that is why we have Google. You can Google it. It's so simple. You just go to Google and you type summer undergraduate research programs for international students or for students from Africa. I would like to, so this is the first one. This is Easter Summer Fellowship, and it's occurs in Austria, and it offers excellent opportunities for students to develop their scientific research skills. It takes international students, and it's for a period from 2 to 3 months, and you have to go to Austria actually to work on this. But one good thing is that right now, for the application for this year, it's closed, but for 2026, it will be announced in December 2025. So this is something that you can apply for. I know one or two people that have applied for this and they got this. And a good thing is that selected applicants receive financial and administrative support from this ISTAS graduate school, and also from other, should I say, bodies. So this is like a good opportunity for you to be able to get a research experience. Then there is the SEN Summer Student Program. This is mainly for physics and engineering students. So this program is why it's saying it is currently open. It is not open, it is closed. The deadline was January, but for 2026, it will be open again. And this is mainly for bachelor's or undergraduate students in physics, in computer science, in engineering, and also in maths, and also for master's students also. This is for 8 weeks. Should I say no? It's for 21 weeks in total, in which you have a minimum of staying. I'm sorry, SEN is in Geneva. So you have a minimum of staying 8 weeks in Geneva or 13 weeks. And this is a very good opportunity for international students, for we Africans we are all welcome to apply. So you should look into this, and also you can fill in. There is a feedback form somewhere in their website that you can fill in, and also subscribe so that you will be able to notified when their application program or their application window opens. Then the third is the Sanga Prize competition 2025 just ended. It ended in May. One of my mentee applied for this, however, she could not get it. But it is still something that is very, very interesting and very, very good, because when you win this Sanga Prize competition, you'll be offered a 3-month internship with a research group at the Wellcome Sanger Institute. It's something that is so good, but and also they specifically target students from low or middle income countries like Africa. And it's, well, for this, it is kind of focused on students that have a research interest that is involved with genetics, that is involved with bioinformatics, medicine, or veterinary science. This is also something that is good if you are in this field to apply for. You can actually check back in November 2025, and also you can follow them in their social media channels. I think the social media channels is listed down here. Yeah, like in they're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, and also on YouTube. So one thing I would do is that I will give or okay, I will send this PowerPoint so that you'll be able to access this summer program itself. Okay, I have a question on, can you do research when you are still studying? Yes, you can actually do research when you are still studying, and it is something that will really help you. If you're going to be carrying out research in your university, it will even be so good, because if you carry out a research in your university with either a professor in your department, it is something that will help you, should I say, build up for your undergraduate thesis itself. As an undergraduate, I actually carried out a research on the effects of what is it called, of bacteria itself on meats, on foodstuffs. And when I did carry out my undergraduate thesis research, it was focused more on bacteria and their effects on drug resistance. So this is something that helped me craft my undergraduate thesis research and its proposal. So yes, you can carry out research while still studying. One thing I will always tell undergrads is that as Africans studying in Africa, we are at disadvantage because we have less research opportunities. And then when you apply for scholarship opportunities with other people, from other applicants from other parts of the world, I am sorry to say we are less competitive because they have so many research opportunities, they have so many publications, and here we are just coming up with one research. Most Africans I have met, I know that their research experience, that is those that went straight from BSc into PhD, their research experience was just their undergraduate thesis. While if you speak with other counterparts from the Western world itself, you see that their research experience it's so large. Currently, right now, I have a second-year medical science student who is working with me on my research work, and she has published 2 papers already in my lab. She joined my lab in her first year. And I am actually in the lab and I have not even published any paper from my lab itself. So you can actually see that if this particular student gets to apply for a PhD immediately after graduation, or 2 months or 2 years after graduation or whatnot, she has the upper hand than me if I were to apply for a PhD without any publication. It is something that's already reducing my, should I say, my strong profile. So yes, you can undergo a research as an undergraduate student. The only thing it might be time consuming, but that is where multitasking comes in play. As humans, we need to learn how to multitask. And one thing I have understood is that when we say multitasking, we think it is doing 10 things at the same time. No, it's doing 10 things at different time but these 10 things have specific time for them. If today I'm going to work on 3 different things, I am not going to work on these 3 different things the same time, but I will work on them specific time. That is why you schedule your time, you plan your time, and I feel if we're able to, if you're able to do that, then you'll be able to should I say, have a relationship with your research and your education itself. Then the final one is your undergraduate thesis. This is something that everybody knows, that your undergraduate thesis can be your research experience itself. And one good thing is that you can also publish your undergraduate thesis and it can join your list of publications itself. Apart from having research experience, you should apply for local and national scholarships. Because when you get a scholarship itself, whether it is local or whether it is national, it helps to boost your application because this is you showing them that I have been given scholarships before. I have applied for scholarships and people have seen my academic excellence and they have given me scholarship. It doesn't matter how much the scholarship is or how large or how small the scholarship is. Apply for something tiny. Apply for something big. It doesn't matter. This is something that will appear in your CV itself. This is something that will boost you up. And it is something that even when they say introduce yourself, you can always just add or squeeze it in. During my application or during my grad school interview, I could remember that every person that interviewed me, I kept on letting them know that I was awarded a federal government of Nigeria undergraduate scholarship for 5 years. So out of the 6 years I spent studying veterinary medicine, for 5 years, the federal government of Nigeria paid for my school fees itself, my tuition fee and every other thing. So this was something I kept on adding in every interview I did for my graduate school, because this is something I feel puts me on edge, puts me on the top of the list of applicants itself. Apart from research experience, there is leadership roles. You need to take up leadership roles because as a graduate student, you will be called upon at different moments of your life, at different time in your graduate school, to either mentor students, to mentor undergrads, and if you're a PhD student, to even mentor what's it called, master students, and apart from that, to also take up other leadership roles. So one thing the graduate education committees looked out for are your leadership roles. And how do you get this leadership role? Just volunteer for it. The first and most easiest way is student government positions. In your universities, I'm sure there are so many student government organizations, there are so many associations. Volunteer for that. You don't have to be the president. You don't have to be the secretary. You don't have to have this big post itself or this big role itself. Even if it is the smallest, volunteer for that. Because when you get a position like this, it is something you'll be able to craft into your statement of purpose. And it is something that will be able to show the graduate education committee that you are fit to be a graduate student and that you are fit if the opportunity arises to take up leadership positions in your department. Then there are clubs leadership positions. I don't know about you, but as an undergrad student, I loved joining clubs, both academic and non-academic clubs, like reading clubs, like even church clubs. You should take up positions in that. And if you feel there are no clubs that are enticing to you, well, you can form your own club. You just need 2 students or 3 students and you formed your club. As an undergrad in University of Abuja, there was no Planetary Health Alliance club in my university. Planetary Health Alliance is an organization that is associated with Harvard, in which what they basically do is they speak on or they create advocacy on global warming, climate change, and planetary health and whatnot. I and 2 other of my classmates then in the university, we joined together. We applied for campus ambassadorship programs, and then we created Planetary Health Alliance Club. And when we created this club, I was so confident to have to include this in my statement of purpose because this is part of my story. This is something that we show the Graduate Education Committee that apart from academic, apart from schoolwork, I also took part in extracurricular activities. You can also create interesting clubs, even if it is a tennis club or whatnot, create them or also volunteer for them. Like there are also national academic associations you can also volunteer for. Like whatever faculty, whatever departments you are in, there are associations. I am sure there are local associations on that, there are national associations on that. Volunteer for that. Because apart from it helping you get a strong application profile, it also helps you to network. Because you don't know who you will be meeting. You don't know when you will be meeting someone that will help you in the next stage of your life. When I was in my third year in university as an undergrad, I became the National Assistant Secretary General for the International Veterinary Students Association. That's for the whole Nigeria itself. And one thing this position exposed me to was a mentor. And this mentor really helped me in my graduate school application. So these are not just only going to help you for your application itself, but it will help you network. Tomorrow you might be looking for internship programs. It will help you. Maybe the person you meet while volunteering for these positions can be someone that will introduce you to someone else, or can even be the person that will give you this internship position. And then also you can volunteer for international academic associations. Most Africans, we don't take up these roles. Most international academic associations I have seen in the medical field, in science field, the Indians take up these roles more. You would see out of like 20 positions in an international academic association, you'll be seeing 18 positions being taken up by Indians. And then the remaining two positions by other whites or Western world. And then I will be wondering, where are the Africans? We don't need to know someone to be able to get this position. All we need is our phone. We have a smartphone. We are connected to the internet. We can always search and to be members of this association. So I included two that I know of. If you're someone that is in the biomedical field, you can always become a member of the International Student One Health Alliance. This association is connected to the United Nations itself. So if it's something that will help you move forward. My first research experience, aside from my undergraduate thesis, was gotten from via the International Student One Health Alliance. And between 2022 to 2023, I was the mentorship manager for the International Student One Health Alliance. So they have this mentorship program every year where they connect undergrads or master students to doctors, to PhD holders, to researchers in like worldwide. And I was connected to a veterinary doctor. She's in Jordan and she works with the US on One Health itself. And she was the one that helped me in my research experience. I was able to carry out a systematic research. It wasn't really like hands-on research or whatnot, but I was able to carry that. That was my first research experience, apart from carrying out research program in my university and my undergraduate thesis. She helped me. She connected me to a veterinary doctor in International Livestock Research Institute in Kenya. But currently, right now, he's in the US as a professor. She connected me to him, and he also helped me. He taught me how to carry out data analysis and whatnot. And I was able to meet this doctor or these two doctors from the International Student One Health Alliance. You can join. And then one good thing is this One Health Alliance, they have little chapters in each universities. I don't know if your university is having this, if you're a biomedical student, that's you're a medical student, you are in biological science, you are in anything related to the biomedical field. If you're not having this One Health Club in your university, you can create one and connect to this International Student One Health Alliance. It will really help you because it will connect you to so many organizations. Since they are connected to the United Nations, it will also connect you to them. itself. And then apart from that, there is the International Veterinary Students Association. These are for veterinary students. I don't know if there are any veterinary students here, but this is still something that is good. I volunteered as the secretary for the International Veterinary Students Association worldwide in 2022 for the One Health, should I say the One Health Committee itself. So this is still something that connected me to people. And I can proudly tell you all that when I had my recommendation letters, two of my recommendation letters were not even my professors. One was from a professor in US here, in what is it called, in Missouri itself. And then the other was from the veterinary doctor in Jordan that works with the US. So I got my two recommendation letters from these people. And how did I meet these people? From these international academic associations. That was how I met them. And then the third recommendation letter I got was even from my professor. So while most people were getting three recommendation letters from their professors, I just got one from my professor. And then the other two were international recommenders. And this is something that I felt helped me to stand out during my application. The next is to take up mentoring capacities. Or you might think that as an undergrad, you cannot mentor people. Yes, you can. If you are a junior student right now or you're a final year student, you can mentor freshmen. You can mentor them. You can mentor high school students. This is something that not only will teach you or will help you, should I say, will help you carve or grow your mentorship skills. Because when you become a graduate student, one way or another, you have to mentor undergrads. It will also help you create this compelling story. Remember, every single thing comes back to your statement of purpose because you have to create this compelling purpose. And when you mentor students, you can also add that to your statement of purpose. Or during your graduate interview, when they say, introduce yourself, this is something you can apply. So from today, I will advise each and every one of you that you should look for one person to mentor. It's a chain of reaction. You mentor one person, that one person ends up mentoring someone else, and that someone else ends up mentoring someone else. So this is like becoming a chain of reaction. There is this long linear reaction of list of mentors in which you are giving back to the society. So today, don't look down on yourself. Don't think you don't have anything to help mentor people. You have, and you should do that. And then the fourth is tutoring. Tutor students. Tutor your classmates, tutor your siblings, tutor your neighbors. This is a leadership role that will help you a lot. Um, as even before I became an undergrad, I had 3 years like 3 years in which I was looking for admission because in Nigeria, getting admission to the university is so hard. So I had to spend like 3 years at home. And while I spent 3 years at home, I tutored high school students in my community. They were preparing for the West African examination, and all I kept on doing, that is senior certificate examination, whatnot. All I kept on doing was mentoring them. Though when I entered the university, I stopped mentoring people, but I still included this. I stopped tutoring people, sorry, but I still included this tutoring experience in my CV, my academic CV, as I was applying for PhD program, and I also spoke about it during my interview. So you should tutor others. And when you tutor others, it doesn't really just help you alone for your graduate school application. It helps you in your academic work. I don't know if you have noticed this, but when you are learning something, if you teach someone that thing you are learning, it stays longer in your brain than cramming. So if you're trying to cram something and it is not working, you can also teach others. So not only are you tutoring to get this leadership role, but you are tutoring to help in your academics itself. You are tutoring to have this particular aspect of whatever you are studying memorized in your brain and to help you understand it. So this tutoring is not just only helping you for your application, it's helping you for your academics. And you should carry this out. You should do it once in a while. Then the last is international career memberships. This is something that is open to us. I am sure you will wonder that you're an African student. How can you become a member of American Society of Microbiology? Oh, you can. If you are connected to any microbiology work, you can. And it is free of charge. In my fourth year in university, I became a member of the American Society of Microbiology. They have a global outreach program in which for less, or should I say low income countries like African countries, they have a free membership program for students, for undergraduate students and master's students. You can, if your research or if your field of studies in microbiology, please Google this, the American Society of Microbiology, their global outreach program. It is something that will help you. You get their membership certificates, you get their membership ID card and whatnot, and then you are able to attend their seminars, their series, their workshops or whatnot online. You don't know who it will connect you with. This is one good thing that will stand out in your CV. We connect you to someone that might help you in the future. And we also help you in your research thinking and whatnot. Because if you listen to so many people's research work, it opens your, or it widens your horizon. It helps you to be able to think better. Then there is the American Psychology Association. They have the student membership program for also undergrad students and international students. You can also, if you are in this field, you can Google it. Then there is American Pharmacognosy Association. They also have a free student membership program. So as an undergrad, I was both a member of the American Society of Microbiology and the American Pharmacognosy Association. I could remember while I was telling my peers that I was a member of this, they kept on telling me, "You are not in America. How did you do that? You just apply for it and you get it." Think about it. This is something that will move you forward. I know I just listed these three because these are the three I know of, but you can always look for others if you are in your various field. This is not just limited to America alone. There are European, like should I say, there are memberships and whatnot in different fields. Google them. That is why you have a smartphone. You don't just really have a smartphone alone to be on Facebook, to be on Twitter, to be on Instagram or TikTok. Make use of your smartphone for something smart. That is why it is called a smartphone. Google things. And one beautiful thing with ChatGPT is it can even help reduce your work. I know sometimes Google can be so stressful, Google can be so hectic. Sometimes when you type A, Google will end up bringing B and you're wondering how A and B are connected. Why not go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to show you, to give you a list. If you are maybe a humanities student, ask ChatGPT to give you a list of membership associations in humanity that give free membership positions for students. I am sure ChatGPT will give you a long list of these, and then try them out. We should make use of these. You are African. I will keep on hitting this on the nail. As an African studying in Africa, you are less competitive than the other people, than your counterparts in the Western world. So you need every single thing to push you up, to make you stand out. The moment you understand this limitation, the moment you come to terms with this limitation, then the moment you'll be able to craft, be able to create opportunities, to be able to understand what to do. And this is one thing that will really push you up to be able to stand out during your application. You might not end up going to grad school, you might not end up doing a master's or a PhD, but it will also help you network in your field. It will really help you. Then finally, the third is extracurricular activities. Apart from academia and whatnot, you need to do things because one thing the grad school application would always look at for is how you give back to your society, how you help your community. If you take from your community from A to Z and you cannot even give back A to your community, what is the essence of it? And this is where extracurricular activities comes into play. There are so many extracurricular activities, but I will just focus on community service itself. First of all, is to join a non-academic club. Volunteer for a non-academic club. Maybe it's a club that cleans the your streets every week. Join it. Maybe it's a club that helps old people in your community, that teaches them how to maybe do art, how to operate a smartphone or something. There are so many fun clubs like that. Join it. Because not only is it going to help you for your application itself, you might end up having someone there that will give you a recommendation later. I am not someone who is a fan of having three recommenders as your professor. I am a fan of having like a balance between having a professor as a recommender and then having someone that can talk about you outside academic or outside academia. And this is where a non-academic club will play a big role in. Then give back to the society. I know when some of us here give back to the society, it means we need to give the society a large amount of money we need to spend. No, you don't. If you decide that tomorrow I'm going to gather 2 or 3 friends of mine and sweep my street, you're giving back to the society. If you decide that tomorrow I will start talking to the old women in my street, the old women in my community about how they can be able to save, about how they can be able to make use of make use of social media, make use of internet to be able to help their business, help their market or whatnot, you are giving back to the society. If you decide that tomorrow, okay, I will meet my pastor and I will speak with my pastor and I would like to speak with young girls, speak to young girls about how they can be able to better their lives and everything, you're giving back to the society. So there are so many ways of having extracurricular activities, but I am someone that is more focused on community service. And as usual, I would always give an example from my own experience. I was actually a certified advocate for gender-based violence. I had to take a course for that. And when I took a course for that during the COVID time, I was able to speak in 4 primary schools and 1 secondary school with other people. Like we created this group on gender-based violence, and we were able to go to primary schools and secondary schools to speak with students on gender-based violence. And yes, I added it to my CV. And during my interview, one of the professor that interviewed me, she's someone that is so passionate about gender-based violence. And she said, "Oh, I saw this on your CV. I saw you did this. I saw you did that." And confidently, I spoke on it. And that particular interview, there was less question on my research interest, on academic work or whatnot, and more questions were on my volunteering opportunities or volunteering experience, especially the gender-based violence. So you don't know where this will take you to. Give back to the society. You don't need to be someone so big to give back to the society. You don't need to be applying for a scholarship opportunity to make you give back to the society. As a human being, I am sure you have gained something from one person. Even this scholarship or this series, this summer undergrad series that is taking place, you are benefiting from this. How do you give back to the society after taking part in this series, after taking part in this scholarship program? You also need to give back to the society, because if you are taking part in this and then it is ending with you, I am sorry to say, but then you are wasting the time of Mr. Michael here that organized this, that has taken so much time to do this. Because I am sure one of the reasons why he is doing this is because he is focusing on the chain of reaction that will happen when he helps A will help B, B will help C. This is how it is. And apart from being a human being and you give back to the society, if you are a Christian, you are called to be charitable. And when you are called to be charitable, it doesn't really mean alone giving money. What about helping others? Love your neighbor as yourself. So when you are giving back to the society, you are having, this is giving back to the society, have this mutualistic relationship in which you are benefiting from it and the society is benefiting from it. So instead of us having a parasitic relationship with the society in which I benefit from the society, but the society has nothing to benefit from me, why don't we just turn it around and instead get that mutualistic relationship? I give to the society and the society gives to me. I am sure, as an African, I am sure that even with this, we might not be recognized. There is no way who will recognize you. As long as you're not a politician or something, nobody will recognize you. It doesn't matter. God recognizes you. He sees you. And apart from that, there is this feel-good hormone. There is this hormone called endorphin. And also there is dopamine. When you do something good, what makes you feel good when you do something right is this dopamine and endorphin. And that is why some people become so addicted to it and then they try to, should I say, take nicotine, they try to smoke or take drugs because it gives them that, it helps to increase that dopamine level. You don't need to do that. Give back to the society and see how high your endorphin level will increase. And most especially, open a LinkedIn account. I don't know how many of you have a LinkedIn account. If you have a LinkedIn account, good job. But then you need to post more. Share your story. You know, there is something that people would always say in LinkedIn about LinkedIn that, oh, you bought a pen and somebody will write, I am pleased to announce I have bought a pen. Yeah. Please be pleased to announce that you got a pen. Because you don't know who is reading your LinkedIn story. You don't know who is watching you. As an undergrad, every single thing I did, every single volunteering opportunity I had, I posted it on LinkedIn. Before I even graduated, I had 1,000 followers on LinkedIn before I graduated. And this is something that pushed me, that helped me move forward because it connected me to so many people. Share your story, create connections. If you know how to make use of LinkedIn, you will be surprised that it will help you connect to professors. It will help you get a job. It will help you get volunteering opportunities. Even this international undergraduate research programs, you don't know where the LinkedIn connections will help you. So today, if you have not opened a LinkedIn account, I will advise that you open one. And you should post always and share your story. Then so one thing like to recap, I have been able to touch on how research experience and also other enhancing factors will be able to help you craft a compelling statement of purpose, will be able to help you get recommendation letters, will be able to help you have academic excellence. But there is something more important than all this. You see, this is the secret ingredient to all this. If you don't do this, if you don't have this important source, then I'm sorry to say everything you are doing is just a wastage. And that is God. That is God. The Bible says that there is a way that seems right to man that leads to death. You might think every single thing, I am following everything Francisca has said, it is the right way. It might actually be the wrong way for you. Because God has a plans for you. The plan He has for you are for good and not for evil. Every single person, He has crafted a plan for every single person. And you might find out that every single thing I have listed here might not be in God's plan for you. And when you walk outside of God's plan, things go wrong. You waste capital. You waste your time. You waste your energy. And you become disconnected from God. Funny enough, when things go wrong, most times as human, we like to blame God. But no, it is most times because we are walking away from God's plan. So even before you begin this journey, you should ask God if this is a journey you should take. Because honestly, it is not everybody that is meant to go to graduate school. Maybe God has a wonderful plan for you. But then, if God has a plan for you for this graduate school, maybe you are looking at the US, but God is looking at UK for you, and you are just focusing on US and applying and applying and applying, and nothing works. When you go back to God's plan, it will actually work at the end. But then when you look at all the years you spend applying, you find out that you wasted time. For me, during my application, surprising enough, I only had 1 year of application and I got the scholarship. My application or getting the scholarship is a very, very big testament of God's wonders because I got my PhD scholarship from both Rutgers University. Rutgers University is an Ivy League university in US and also from University of Cincinnati. I got PhD in pharmacology for both actually when I was in my first year of final year, the first semester of final year. So veterinary medicine, it's 6 years in University of Abuja in Nigeria. And my first semester of final year, I got my scholarship. When I wanted to apply, I met my research supervisor and he told me that there is no way I'll be able to get the scholarship program because number one, I have not graduated. Number two, I don't have a degree. That there are so many people that we apply and we get this. There's so many people that have the masters and we get this. And he told me I was discouraged. And I went back home and I told my elder sister, and she said, the first thing she said is, did God tell you that you will not get it? Honestly, he did not. And I applied. I applied for 5 schools. And out of the 5 schools, I got 2. One was an Ivy League university. I was surprised that I got full scholarship for Ivy League. The only reason why I decided to choose University of Cincinnati is because it's closer to where my sister lives. This is me, an undergrad, who has not graduated, who have not carried out her undergrad thesis program. Her undergrad thesis research or whatnot. Getting 2 scholarships for PhD, not even masters, for PhD, first semester of final year. It is God that did this. And aside from God doing this, from my 3rd year, I started gathering every single thing I know I needed to apply for my PhD program. I applied in my 2nd semester of my 5th year. And I got the scholarship in this 1st semester of my 6th year. Every single thing I have shown or I have discussed here, these are the things I did. So why most people, they were not getting or they lacked research experience or whatnot, I had them. Why most people did not have much volunteering experience, I had them. And I was able to craft a compelling a compelling statement of purpose. I was able to get good recommenders. And I was able to craft, like my CV was top notch because I crafted it and it was beautiful. And this was something I knew made me stand out. But the one person that shone his light on me, because no matter how I stand out and I am still dark, I am still in the dark, nobody will see me. It's just like you are lighting a candle as Jesus said in Matthew, you light a candle and then you cover it. It was God that shone his light on me and he was able to help me. So I will tell you that if you're going to take this road, if you're going to go down this path, you need God. And you do not just need God alone because you want to apply for a scholarship. You need God in your life. You need to grow a relationship with him because a scholarship, a PhD will not give you the peace you need, will not give you the fulfillment you need. It only gives random fulfillment. Honestly, a PhD program is so stressful. It is so mentally stressful. It strains you mentally. So at that particular time when you are strained mentally, the only person The only relationship that will be able to keep you stable is God. And that is why you need God. He is there every single moment of our life. He loves us so much, and he's always there wanting to speak with us, to hear us. You should speak with him today. I am sure you do, but try to make it every single day. And now we're back to this question about Kiki. Since I have gone through all this, okay, I should look at the previous, I got C. Most of the response I got concerning if Kiki would be able to get a fully funded scholarship to the US immediately after graduation is C. That is, they don't know. Now let's go back to this question again. Can Kiki get a fully funded scholarship to the US immediately after graduation? As you did the first time, if you feel yes, she can after this presentation, please type A. If you feel no, she must still work for a year or so to build a strong application profile. After this presentation, please type B. And if you still feel that you are not really convinced whether she can or she cannot, you can type C. So I am getting responses of A, yeah. Well, I am happy that I have been able to change most of your mind that yes, she can get a fully funded scholarship for her PhD to the US immediately after graduation. All you need to do is to be able to craft your compelling, as I said, statement of purpose, to be able to get good recommendations and academic excellence. And you'll be able to get these three if you focus on this too also, your research experience and other enhancing factors, such as your leadership role, your volunteering experience, joining clubs, and also joining international membership associations. So that would be it for today. This is me, in case, and these are my emails. This is my personal email. This is my school email. If you want to send me an email, if you want to reach out to me, you are free to do that. And also, this is my LinkedIn profile name. You can always follow me on LinkedIn, connect with me. I always answer questions on LinkedIn. If you send me, I rarely post nowadays on LinkedIn because I am kind of like swamped up. But if you send me a DM on LinkedIn, I will be able to answer. Now I will be pleased to take any more questions before the end of today's session, if there are any more questions. Well, I am not really seeing any questions. So it means either two things I was able to explain to your understanding, or I did not explain at all to your understanding. It is either of these two things, but it's good. And thank you also for having me here. Thank you, Dr. Sheun, for giving me this opportunity, and Mr. Michael for also giving me this opportunity. It's something I love doing, and I am happy you invited me for this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Francisca. That's a very rewarding session there. I looked through the chat. Somebody placed a question sometimes ago, saying, "Can you do the research while you're still studying?" But I guess that has been answered very clearly during the presentation, and I think that's why I believe you did a very good job. I think that's why most people don't have a lot of questions. Very interesting. Why? Because many times when people talk about graduate school, the emphasis is usually on test scores and research. But Ms. Francisca has shown here that even in the absence of all of those, I mean, if you don't have a very good access to research and the likes, you can still give a compelling story. She made emphasis to the fact that while we have challenges back here in Africa, one of the things we have is stories. As a professor myself, one of the things I found out is if I'm writing a journal paper, if I'm writing for a grant, I'm more focused on the story than the results. Why? Because I mean the results might not be so much, but if you have a compelling story behind it, it kind of pushes whatever data you have. to the broader community out there. Thank you so much, Ms. Francisca. We appreciate this. I believe you mentioned at some point in the presentation that you're going to share the slides with us. I will appreciate that very dearly. So that, I mean, those who maybe want to go over things again will be able to do the same. I want to appreciate everybody for joining this session today. If you do have any questions, please do well. I'm not gatekeeping anybody. If you will need to reach out to Ms. Francisca, go ahead and reach out to her. All right. The more people you're able to reach out to, the better. You know, she's emphasized on research. So let me maybe at this point go ahead and make mention. I've been taking interns, all right, while I'm still around here, and my goal is to establish a research group while I'm here. So if you're still available, if you're still around, if you instead of going to volunteer, somebody posted on WhatsApp, I think it's Iron, instead of going to volunteer where you will not be paid, all right, come work in my research lab here in Kabale, all right, and and get yourself some research experience that you can use for your graduate. Like she emphasized, it's not, being a parasitic relationship. It's going to be beneficial for you and also beneficial for your society. I mean, I'm going to do well to make this video available. Why? Because she made a lot of salient points that I want you to go back and really not just watch again, but also think. I mean, what can you do in your society? What can you establish? What can you do to give back to your society? All right, and all in all, I think this is a very, very important session that I want you to go ahead and and review over and over again. Right? What do you have? What do you have around you? What can you accomplish around you? All right, and using that as a springboard, to other things. I think she also mentioned about joining international associations and organizations. You want to take that very important. All right. Somebody said, um, Dr. Debo, you have more is this suffixes now attached to your name than your name itself. And I'm like, yes, because I accomplished all those things. I have my master's, my PhD, my professional engineer, and then all the associations I've been a part of. And I try my best to limit it to maybe just 4 or 5, so they don't have a very long suffix at the end of my name. But those are things that tells other people about your competence, speaks to your leadership capabilities and things like that. So I want you to pay attention to this. And typically at the end of every session, you should have some to do list. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. At the end of this session, I've learned about this. What will be my next steps? All right, so that you are not just taking all this information and then coming back next week to add on to it. Make sure you are taking steps in the right directions. And we'll be here again next week to continue this session. Thank you so much, Ms. Francisca. Thank you so much. I think so Dr. Shenwa Ajayi was still on the line with us throughout the period of this session. Thank you so much for expending social capital on our behalf. We are so much grateful, so much grateful, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll meet again this same time next week, where we will be delving more into talking about how do you write a winning personal statement. All right, you heard her talk about a statement of purpose. Some other universities call it a personal statement, and things like that. How do you go about writing that story? All right, and we'll have another facilitator who will be on ground, to walk us through that process. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening and the morning if you are back there in the US. And thank you so much for coming. And we'll bring this meeting to a close. All right.